promise you won't use auras, Bennett.
Aura reading on Pyramid Head is often seen as shameful to some. Maybe not shameful, but kind of skillless, maybe is another word. The reason being often is because Pyramid Head works very, very well with aura reading. Because he's one of the few killers, and now that I think about it, one of the only killers, who can attack people through walls. So aura reading is very, very powerful on him. Now, to compensate for this, after his most recent changes, Pyramid Head has been given a lot of add-ons that give him aura reading. Now, I say a lot, but it's really 3. There's the Misty Day, the Burning Man painting, and Spearhead. Before we get into the other 2, I do want to make special mention to Burning Man painting, because it's probably the worst of the 3.
What are you, like 4'10"?
Me? I'm 4'11".
I can't believe we're the same species.
If not one of the worst add-ons, maybe in the whole game, ironically. Now, the thing is, when I first read this, I thought it was fine. I thought it was actually a pretty neat add-on. Now, I'm going to read the description of what this add-on does before I explain why it's bad. Miss Punishment of the Damned attacks trigger the following effects. The auras of all survivors within 3 meters of your current location are revealed to you for 6 seconds. Seems pretty good, right? You miss your Punishment of the Damned, or M2 attack, and you get the aura of survivors within 3 meters for 6 seconds? No. I read the wiki for that. The your current location part is the thing that makes this add-on bad. So, it's not from your M2, it's 3 meters from you, which, for those that don't know, is M1 range. So why is this so bad? 1, if you're this close to miss, you could just M1 them. Like, honestly, unless there's literally a pallet right there, and even if there is a pallet right there, just M2 them. The other big problem with this is the range itself, because not only are you in M1 range, the trigger for this is the cooldown animations. Yeah. So when Pyramid Head does his little, like, drop down for his knife, is when this happens. So after you shoot off your M2, there's about a second or so before he actually, like, the aura check happens. So you would literally have to be kissing the survivor, and then miss your M2 to get the aura read. And at that point, you're not really getting much out of the aura read.
Oh, wait.
How close are you?
I'm standing in the little drop-down hole. Like the
Oh,
bubble.
okay. So if I... Nothing. I got it!
So I have to be kissing you.
Yes! I stand here and miss. I got it. Oh, it might actually still be going on. Nope, hang on. Okay, I got it there. Okay, I got it. Oh, I can just use my sword. Okay, that works. I got it. Nope. It's literally here.
Well,
Part of the reason I thought this add-on wasn't that bad when I was testing it is because I went full whole hog on aura reading, and I didn't even realize it wasn't doing anything because the other aura perks were doing so much for me that the painting was just kind of there, just existing. I would recommend, if Behavior is listening, to maybe up the range. I think 6 to 8 meters would be fine. That way it's not the full length of Punishment of the Damned, but also means that it can't be abused in other ways to maybe make it so long-range hits are almost guaranteed at certain loops. So, with the new Office phone out of the way, yes, that is the new Office phone.
Have you been replaced?
Hey, what did I tell you earlier?
Let's get to the 2 that actually matter. And I want to talk about Misty Day first, and then we'll go to Spearhead. Misty Day Remains of the Judgment. I said that completely wrong. Misty Day Remains of Judgment. Successfully landing Punishment of the Damned causes the aura of the hit survivor to be revealed for 8 seconds. This goes up to 10 seconds with Lethal Pursuer, something I'm going to bring up a lot with some of these auras. So when you hit a survivor with your M2, you get the aura on them for 8 seconds. Now, why is this good? Follow-up attacks is basically the big thing for this, but also because it lets you know they're going to leave the loop, stay in the loop, or if you have to keep chasing them down. Sometimes you'd be surprised. Survivors will actually run back into you during your cooldown. It's happened a couple times to me. And this rewards you a lot for landing your M2. Now, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but that 10 seconds, especially with Lethal Pursuer, is way more than you think it is, and gives you plenty of time to do a follow-up hit. If you hit a survivor and they run to another loop, that takes about 5 to 6 seconds, so you still have about 4 seconds with Lethal to make the M2 hit possible. Having the aura read on the survivor is very beneficial because, again, a lot of times survivors will kind of try to juke you, and even if you don't land a hit with the second M2, you can tell which direction they're juking, and then use that as a vetting tool to know which direction to hit next time. So if you see they dodge back, you now have the aura of that, so in your mind you can use that for the next hit and aim behind them rather than in front of them. The last of his aura add-ons is Spearhead, which became a personal favorite of mine during all of this testing. Again, I'm very new to Pyramid Head as of the making of this video, and I did not realize how good this add-on is. When a survivors rescued from a cage of attunement suffer from the following effects. Their auras are revealed for 8 seconds. Again, 10 seconds with Lethal Pursuer. Last time I'll bring it up until we get into perks. So that is 8 to 10 seconds of aura read to the person that uncages somebody. Now, Pyramid Head does get the noise notification when someone is uncaged. But what this allows you to do is know that if they are resetting, how close they are if you're out of range from the cage, or if you didn't know where the cage was in the first place. It's just more accurate information, and depending on your build, if you're running something with the Oblivious status effect, you might be able to use this to your benefit to sneak up on the survivor. There's actually another add-on that causes Oblivious if the survivor is hit with an M2. So you could, in theory, hit someone with the M2 so they're Oblivious, cage them immediately. Now they're oblivious when they get uncaged, and you have aura reading on the other person. If you have something that can make that other person oblivious, then you can just sneak up on the survivors and they have no idea. You get in a 10-meter range and you hit them with an M2. The other huge benefit to this is the macro play, which is kind of what I've been talking about a little bit when mentioning Spearhead. The macro play of this add-on is insane. Knowing exactly where survivors are is always a good thing, and this lets you know for 10 seconds where the person who uncaged somebody is, whether they stayed to reset, whether they moved somewhere else, whether they went to a gen, etc., whether they hid into a locker. You'd be surprised how often that can happen sometimes. And you can use this information in the back of your head to know exactly where everyone is. Again, you do get the noise notification, but this lasts for 10 seconds. You can oftentimes miss the noise notification and not know exactly where it went off. So I highly recommend trying Spearhead, especially if you are really into the macro gameplay of Pyramid Head. Moving on from add-ons, I do want to talk about some of the perks. So I was running a variety of aura perks, not all of them, but some of them, from Eruption to Gearhead, to I'm All Ears, to all of these things. And in my opinion, the best ones for Pyramid Head were Lethal Pursuer for obvious reasons.
I get it!
I'm All Ears, Zancian Tactics, and then I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but Predator worked decently well. I don't like it because you have to lose chase to get it, and a lot of times when you lose chase, you're out of range to get a follow-up hit from Punishment of the Damned. But the one that I found the most success with was definitely Nowhere to Hide. This perk is already very strong, and if you combo it with other gen kick perks, and it's something you're going to be doing anyways, you might as well use it to get those follow-up hits at the beginning of a chase, basically, and stop rats. Another good one I found was Phantom Fear. I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of this perk, but comboed with Lethal Pursuer, it is 4 seconds of aura reading if the survivors are looking at you while in your terror radius. So you can often use this in a chase to get that 4 seconds that they aren't anticipating and be able to either land a hit or zone them off properly. In general, though, I was surprised because Burning Man painting being as bad as it was not on my bingo card when switching to Pyramid Head. But and Spearhead becoming quickly one of my favorite add-ons, and one that I'm probably going to be using in a lot of this testing, as it's a very just set and forget add-on. You don't have to really build around it, and you can kind of just use it for what you would normally do in gameplay. And as far as Misty Day goes, again, if you're going to be hitting your M2s anyways, why not get aura readed? It can be very, very useful, again, for those follow-up hits. And if you happen to hit somebody else, who knows? Sometimes you'd be surprised. Comboed with other add-ons like his Iridescent Seal that gives him a really long range, you can get the aura read on that long range and actually get more of a benefit from it. You can also combo this with something like Gearhead, because then you can get the there's a lot of combos here. What I'm basically saying is Pyramid Head works very well with auras, and his add-ons are really good at it, and Burning Man painting is just so bad, but I think it's one of those secretly bad add-ons that no one really thinks about, because I haven't heard anyone talk about this add-on since his changes. To be fair, there has been a lot more things to talk about other than Pyramid Head's rework. Behavior, you really got to change something with this one. But I love you guys as always. Have a good one, and yeah, bye. Also, a big thank you to Misty Nightglow, who will be linked below, for providing the voice for Mary in the intro clip. As always, see y'all later. Bye.